Do you think LLMs are capable of consciousness?
Great and hard question. Uh, Coming from philosophy, I don't know, part of me is like, okay, we have to set aside panpsychism, because if panpsychism is true, then the answer is like yes, because like so are tables and chairs and everything else. I guess a view that seems a little bit odd to me is the idea that the only place, I think when I think of consciousness, I think of phenomenal consciousness, these images in the brain, sort of like the weird cinema that somehow we have going on inside. Um, I guess I can't see a reason for thinking that the only way you could possibly get that is from like a certain kind of like biological structure. As in, if I take a very similar structure and I create it from different material, should I expect consciousness to emerge? My guess is like yes. But then that's kind of an easy thought experiment because you're imagining something almost identical where like, it's mimicking what we got through evolution, where presumably there was like some advantage to us having this thing that is phenomenal consciousness. And it's like, where was that? And when did that happen? And is that a thing that language models have? Because, we have like fear responses. And I'm like, does it make sense for a language model to have a fear response? Like, they're just not in the same, like, if you imagine them, like, there might just not be that advantage. Um, and so I think I don't want to be fully, like, basically, it seems like a complex question that I don't have complete answers to, but we should just try and think through carefully, is my guess. Because I'm like, I mean, we have similar conversations about like animal consciousness, and like there's a lot of like insect consciousness, like there's a lot of, I actually thought and looked a lot into like plants when I was thinking about this, because at the time I thought it was about as likely that like plants had consciousness. And then I realized I was like, I think that having looked into this, I think that the chance that plants are conscious is probably higher than like most people do. I still think it's really small. But I was like, oh, they have this like negative, positive feedback response, these responses to their environment, something that looks, it's not a nervous system, but it has this kind of like functional like equivalence. So this is like a long-winded way of being like, these basically AI is this, it has an entirely different set of problems with consciousness because it's structurally different. It didn't evolve. It might not have it might not have the equivalent of basically a nervous system. At least that seems possibly important for like sentience, if not for consciousness.